Imagine standing on the surface of Mars, gazing out across a vast, desolate expanse of red dust and rocky plains. The horizon seems endless, with no signs of life to be found. It's a barren, inhospitable world, yet one that has captured the imagination of scientists and dreamers for centuries. Mars, the fourth planet from the Sun, has always been a source of fascination, not just because of its stark beauty, but because it has the potential to hold the secrets of our origins, the history of life beyond Earth, and possibly even the future of humanity itself. But what if Mars is not as lifeless as we've always believed? What if life once existed there, or still does, hidden beneath its surface, waiting to be discovered? This possibility has always been a tantalizing thought, but recent revelations from NASA have made it more real than ever. New data from various Mars missions has revealed potential signs that life might have once thrived on Mars or may even still exist in some form today. These findings could shake the very foundations of our plans for exploring and colonizing Mars. For years, the red planet has been considered humanity's best hope for life beyond Earth, but now we must confront the possibility that Mars may not be the barren, lifeless world we thought it was. If life once existed on Mars, or still does, how would this change the way we approach our plans for colonization? Should we even go to Mars in the first place? NASA's latest findings have brought this question into sharp focus. The organization's Perseverance Rover and other exploration missions have uncovered compelling evidence of ancient riverbeds, dried-up lakes, and minerals that form only in the presence of water. This suggests that Mars was once a far more hospitable place than it is today, an environment that could have supported microbial life. As scientists continue to analyze these discoveries, one question remains at the forefront: could Mars have once hosted life? And if so, what does that mean for our future exploration of the planet? Mars has long been known as the most Earth-like planet in our solar system. It has a similar day length, a tilted axis that gives it seasons, and, most importantly, signs that it once had liquid water on its surface. These factors have led scientists to speculate that Mars may have once supported life in some form. However, the harsh conditions on Mars today, its thin atmosphere, freezing temperatures, and lack of liquid water, make it an unlikely place for life to exist. Or so we thought. The latest findings from NASA suggest that Mars might not have always been so inhospitable. If the planet once had rivers, lakes, and seas, could it have been home to microbial life? Could some form of life still be buried beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? One of the most exciting discoveries is the presence of ancient riverbeds and signs of long-gone bodies of water. NASA's rovers have captured images of Martian landscapes that resemble river valleys, lake beds, and even deltas, features that are typically associated with the presence of water on Earth. These findings suggest that Mars was once a much wetter world, with a climate that might have been more similar to Earth's in the distant past. The fact that these features still exist on Mars today is a sign that the planet has undergone significant changes over time. If Mars had a more temperate climate with liquid water, it could have supported life, just as Earth does. In addition to these geological features, scientists have also discovered minerals on Mars that are formed in the presence of water. For example, clay minerals, which require water to form, have been found in abundance on the Martian surface. This raises the possibility that liquid water once flowed on Mars in significant quantities, enough to create the conditions for life to develop. But could life have evolved on Mars? And if it did, where did it go? Could remnants of ancient Martian life still be hiding beneath the planet's surface, preserved in the rocks and minerals that have remained untouched for billions of years? To answer these questions, NASA has turned to its most advanced rovers, Perseverance and Curiosity, to continue their exploration of the Martian surface. These rovers are equipped with sophisticated tools that allow them to analyze the geology of Mars in unprecedented detail. They are drilling into the Martian soil, collecting samples, and sending them back to Earth for analysis. So far, the rovers have found evidence of ancient microbial life in the form of organic molecules, which are the building blocks of life. However, no definitive proof of life has been found yet. While this doesn't rule out the possibility that life once existed on Mars, it does highlight just how difficult it is to find evidence of life on another planet, even one as Earth-like as Mars. The idea that life could have existed on Mars in the past, or might even exist today, is a concept that has profound implications for humanity's plans to explore and colonize the planet. If Mars was once home to life, should we approach our colonization efforts with more caution? Should we be concerned about the possibility of contaminating a potential Martian biosphere, or even discovering that some form of life still exists on Mars? These are questions that have yet to be fully answered, but they are crucial for any future mission to Mars. For decades, Mars has been seen as the most likely destination for human colonization in our solar system. Unlike Venus, which has extreme temperatures and atmospheric pressure that would make human life impossible, Mars offers a more hospitable environment. While the planet is cold, its gravity is only 38% that of Earth, which means that humans could theoretically live and work on its surface for extended periods of time. Mars also has an atmosphere, albeit a thin one, which could be used for terraforming efforts in the distant future. With the right technology and resources, scientists believe that Mars could one day become a new home for humanity, an insurance policy against the possibility of catastrophic events on Earth, such as climate change, asteroid impacts, or overpopulation. However, even though Mars has many features that make it suitable for colonization, the challenges of living on the planet are immense. The atmosphere on Mars is 100 times thinner than Earth's and is composed mostly of carbon dioxide, which is not breathable by humans. The planet also lacks a protective magnetic field, meaning that surface temperatures are incredibly cold, and the atmosphere offers little protection from harmful radiation from the sun. Any human colonists would need to live in specially designed habitats that provide life support, protection from radiation, and a constant supply of oxygen, water, and food. Space agencies like NASA and private companies like SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, have been working toward developing the technology needed to make human settlement on Mars a reality. But despite the rapid advancements in space travel, there are still many hurdles to overcome. One of the biggest challenges in sending humans to Mars is the journey itself. At its closest, Mars is about 34 million miles from Earth, a journey that takes about 6 to 9 months using current technology. During that time, astronauts would be completely isolated from Earth, with no immediate way to get help in case of an emergency. Spacecraft would need to be equipped with advanced life support systems that can provide food, water, and oxygen for extended periods of time. In addition, the psychological challenges of spending months in confined quarters with a small group of people would be significant. Isolation, confinement, and the constant pressure of living in a harsh, alien environment could take a serious toll on the mental health of astronauts. It's a challenge that NASA and other space agencies are working to address through careful selection and training of astronauts, as well as developing advanced psychological support systems. In addition to the psychological challenges, Mars presents a range of physical dangers that could threaten the health of colonists. For example, the planet's thin atmosphere provides little protection from harmful radiation from the sun, which could increase the risk of cancer and other health problems. Mars also has frequent dust storms that can last for weeks, blocking out the sun and making it difficult for solar panels to generate power. These storms can also create dangerous conditions for astronauts on the surface, reducing visibility and potentially damaging equipment. Furthermore, the low gravity on Mars could have unknown effects on the human body. Scientists know that living in low-gravity environments, such as the microgravity of space, can lead to muscle and bone loss, but the effects of Martian gravity are still largely unknown. Long-term exposure to low gravity could affect astronauts' health in ways that are difficult to predict. One of the most pressing concerns for future colonists on Mars is the potential for contamination. If life ever existed on Mars, it could still be lurking in the subsurface, preserved in the harsh Martian environment. As we send more missions to Mars, there is a risk that we could inadvertently introduce Earth-based microbes to the planet, potentially contaminating any Martian ecosystems that may still exist. This is a serious concern, and NASA and other space agencies are taking great care to sterilize spacecraft and rovers before they are sent to Mars to minimize the risk of contamination. However, this is not a foolproof solution. As we explore more of Mars, the risk of contamination grows, and the question of whether we have the right to interfere with any potential Martian biospheres becomes more urgent. Another potential danger to consider is the possibility of terraforming Mars. In recent years, Elon Musk has proposed an ambitious plan to terraform Mars, making the planet more Earth-like by using nuclear bombs to release carbon dioxide trapped in the Martian polar ice caps, which could thicken the atmosphere and warm the planet. While the science behind terraforming is still theoretical, the idea has captured the imagination of many. However, some scientists warn that attempting to terraform Mars could have unintended consequences, potentially disrupting the delicate balance of the Martian environment or even jeopardizing the stability of Earth's own ecosystem. Could we, as a species, bear the responsibility of altering another planet on such a massive scale? And what if our intervention leads to unforeseen consequences that we cannot control? As humanity looks to the stars, Mars remains our best hope for life beyond Earth. But as we continue to explore this fascinating planet, we must remember that we are entering a realm of unknowns. The discoveries of the past few years have raised as many questions as they have answered, and the answers to those questions could determine the future of human colonization of Mars. What if life really did exist on Mars? What if it's still there, hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? And what will we do if we discover that Mars is not the barren world we thought it was, but a place where life once flourished and might still exist? The answers to these questions are uncertain, but one thing is clear: the story of Mars is far from over, and humanity's journey to the Red Planet is just beginning.